Welcome back to Animerecap. Today, we are going to cover part 2 of the hidden dungeon only I can enter, so if you haven't watched part 1, I will leave a link in the description and comment section. With that said, let's get into the video. Asking the great sage, Noir finds out the dragon's exact location. Noir, Emma and Lunar dig a pit for it to fall into and Noir heads to the dragon's cave. At the cave, Noir wakes the dragon up and lures him towards the pitfall. When the dragon falls into the pit, Noir, Emma and Lunar attack it with spears. They struggle until Lunar stabs its neck, successfully killing it. The next day at the Hero Academy, they turn in the materials they needed for the exam. Afterwards, they visit the Adventurers Guild and give the rest of the rare materials to Lola. Sarah's quota turns out to be higher than Lola's, but there is still half a month left before the contest ends. Sarah has completely seduced her adventurers to do whatever she wants, and she is exploiting them so much that they are overworked. Noir visits Olivia, asking her for advice. She tells him to visit the 7th floor of the hidden dungeon, where there is valuable treasure. She also tells him to create elemental spells and a magic fusion skill that lets him combine them. At the 6th floor, Noir combines his stone bullets with a flame spell and easily defeats all the zombies there. Finally reaching the 7th floor, he enters the lush forest. He notices a pack of high-level wolves and hides from them until a small green-haired girl stops him, explaining she's a dryad, a spirit of a great tree. She begs Noir to help her and he accepts. The dryad's true body is the tree and it is attacked by a monster, and she wants Noir to defeat it. In exchange, she will give him some treasure and show him how to get to the 8th floor of the dungeon. The dryad takes Noir to her tree where he sees that a golden bee monster is attacking it. With his discerning eye, Noir sees the bee as incredibly high level and that it would kill him in one hit. Seeing that the dryad is in pain and her tree is falling apart, he makes up his mind to help her after all. Finding the golden bee's nest, he puts a skill on the bee that makes it easily targeted by enemies. He finds the high-level wolves he saw before and provokes them to run after him. Reaching the dryad's tree, he sees the bee has attacked it once again and that the dryad herself is laying on the floor, lifelessly. Flying into a rage, Noir attacks the golden bee but is no match for it. When the wolves arrive, Noir modifies his target skill on the bee, making the wolves think the bee is their natural enemy. All the wolves attack the bee, but the bee manages to kill them all. Noir combines his water and lightning skill to form a bullet of electrified seawater. He shoots it at the bee, weakened from the wolves' attacks, and manages to kill it. The dryad wakes up and later takes Noir to the treasure she promised him. She then gives him a green bean that strengthens wind spells, an incredibly valuable and rare item. Noir is overjoyed and thanks the dryad. The dryad is sad that he is leaving, but he promises he will visit her again. At the day of Lola's battle against Sarah, Lola's adventurer quota turns out to be higher than Sarah and she finally wins against her. Sometime later, Noir gives Emma the bean that strengthens wind magic and she eats it. Nora can see that she gained 2 powerful new skills from it and she feels more powerful. Emma invites Noir to a dance party for nobles and he reluctantly agrees. Back home, Noir's father tells Noir he still can't find a location for their item shop because they are low-ranked nobles. Noir tells him not to worry about it and keep looking. At the night of the party, Noir meets with Emma. The party's host, who is Emma's father, appears and tells everyone he has received a warning from a phantom thief. The thief wants to steal a jewel called Mermaid's Tear that night, but Born hired adventurers from the kingdom's greatest guild, Lamo, to guard it. When the party begins, a noble called Mike asks Noir to compete who can dance with Emma better. Noir accepts, thinking he can't take watching Emma enjoy a conversation with someone other than him. Mike dances with Emma first and there is a big applause. Next, it's Noir's turn, so he creates the dancing skill for himself. He dances with Emma gracefully and gets a huge applause too. As soon as Noir's dance is over, the lights go out and the phantom thief appears. It turns out she doesn't only want to steal a jewel but also Emma because she is the host's daughter. Emma's father orders the adventurers from Lama to fight the thief, but the thief evades them. She seals Emma in front of Noir's eyes and kicks Noir away. The lights come back on and another phantom thief suddenly arrives and steals the Mermaid's Tear. Both of the thieves jump through the window and the adventurers go after them with Noir joining them. One of the adventurers and martial artist girl called Layla runs with Noir after the phantom thief who stole Emma. The thief summons a firebird that breathes fire at Layla. While the thief herself attacks Noir with a dagger, and while Layla fights the bird with her magic reinforced fists, Noir fights against the phantom thief, finding out she is weak to lightning spells. Seeing Layla is having trouble, Noir makes the bird heavier and unable to fly anymore. Layla tries attacking the bird, but the thief doesn't let her. Noir attacks the thief for the combination of water and lightning and defeats her, enabling Layla to defeat the firebird using her fists. The adventurer's leader approaches them saying he has beaten the other phantom thief, but Noir notices he is acting strangely. He uses Discerning Eye to find out the man's name and skills are unknown. Suddenly, a man attacks Noir and Layla and makes them unable to get up using a gravity manipulation skill. The man reveals himself to be other phantom thief called Tom. He wants to make Emma his wife, having seen her in town before. Hearing that, Noir struggles against the strong gravity and somehow manages to get up. While Tom is focused on Noir, Emma wakes up and blows Tom away with a wind spell. Noir hits the thief in the face, breaking his gravity spell and defeating him. Back at the party hall, Emma's father thanks Noir for saving his daughter. As thanks, he helps Noir find a location for his family's shop at a cheap price. A few days later, Layla joins Noir's class at the Hero Academy as a transfer student. The teacher tells them they are going to go to a training camp at Hot Springs Resort. At the day of the training camp, Noir and his classmates start their trip to the hot springs. At sunset, they arrive at a mountain full of traps and monsters. A small flying pixie approaches them, telling them she's not a threat. Remembering pixies usually trick humans, Noir looks at the pixie skills and sees she has a skill to control monsters. The pixie shows the students a shortcut through a cave, but Noir is suspicious of her. When Noir tells her he knows she can control monsters, the pixie drops her act and calls forth a group of lizardmen. She orders them to attack the students, but the students fight the lizardmen off bravely, using various weapons and magic. Exiting the cave, the students see the hot springs resort in the distance. They enter it and the boys led by a boy named Hurth decide to peep on the girls while they're bathing. However, Noir is against it, but the boys don't care and start running towards the girls' bath. Their teacher, Elna, stops them with an earthen wall spell. Together with Elna, Noir stops most of the boys using earthen and stone bullets, but Hurth doesn't bother. He fights Elna, turning out to be pretty strong. He unleashes his full power, having collected lots of magic potions and items to make himself more muscular. Noir tries wrestling with him, but Hurth overpowers him. Noir then gives Hurth a skill that makes him powerless and defeats him easily. Suddenly, another boy gets up and starts running towards the girls' bath. Noir runs after him and they both end up falling into the bath. It turns out the girls didn't go into the bath after all because Elna told them what the boys were planning. With the boys locked up in their room, the girls peacefully have their bath. One day, Noir and his family finally get ready to open their rare item shop. Emma, Lunar and Lola help them set everything up. Opening the shop to the public, plenty of customers arrive immediately. Later, Noir visits Olivia, remembering how much she has helped him since he met her. He promises to free her from the dungeon and see her smile. He asks the great sage how he can free Olivia and he tells him the answer can be found on the 15th floor of the dungeon. Noir climbs the 14th floor and finds himself at a crossroads. One path is for people who come alone and the other is for people who weren't alone. Taking the first path, he enters a room with a narrow path with spikes underneath it. Realizing the task is too hard for him right now, he quits. Sometime later, Noir takes Emma to the dungeon after she tells him she wants to help him. Taking it for people who aren't alone, they enter an empty room. Suddenly, the door locks and goblins start coming in. The goblins tell him to drop their weapons and give them some food, so they do as the goblins say. Noir takes out some cookies and gives them to the goblins. When they ask him for more cookies, Noir secretly poisons the cookies using his skill. The goblins eat them greedily and every single one of them collapses on the ground, enabling Noir and Emma to advance. Finally reaching the 15th floor, Noir and Emma find a girl who looks exactly the same as Olivia chained to the room. She doesn't respond to them and Noir uses his discerning eye to find out she is actually a copy of Olivia made by the magical chains that bind the real Olivia. She even has all of Olivia's skills. Emma frees the fake Olivia and she starts acting just like the real Olivia would. Noir tells her she isn't fooling him and the fake Olivia changes her demeanor, saying she wants to fight him to test for strength. Noir and Emma attack the fake Olivia, but she blocks the attacks and retaliates with her own powerful spells. Before the fake Olivia can defeat them, Noir teleports himself and Emma back to the second floor where the real Olivia is. Emma asks Olivia if she has any weaknesses they can use against the fake Olivia, but Olivia isn't sure. She tells Noir he doesn't have to work so hard for him, but Noir says she has done so much for him and he wants to help her. The next day, Noir finds some information about Olivia in a history book. He reads about a cleric woman who was able to threaten Olivia by using the sacrifice skill. It's a skill that sacrifices other skills to power up the user. Noir creates the skill for himself. Leaving the library, he suddenly encounters the fake Olivia. She came after him because she wants to defeat him. Sacrificing 3 of his skills, Noir activates the sacrifice skill and powers himself up. Confident, he starts attacking the fake Olivia, but she stops him with one electrified sword slash. 200 years ago, Olivia met a boy resembling Noir. He asked her to be his master, but she declined no matter how much he begged. During the entire day, the boy followed her around, asking her to be his master. Finally, she asked him why he is so stubborn, and he told her he promised his deceased friend that he will become the best adventurer in the world. Hear this, Olivia challenged him to try attacking her. If he could give her a scratch, she would become his master. However, he turned out to be a complete amateur and Olivia told him he should quit being an adventurer. Not listening to her, the boy kept following her day after day, asking her for advice. One day, Olivia found out the boy has been killed by a monster while he was protecting a girl from it. Olivia realizes she should have become his master and taught him properly, so something like this wouldn't happen. Afterwards, she got trapped in the hidden dungeon and Noir found her. She decided to give him her skills and teach him how to use them so he doesn't end up like the boy who died. Now she is worried for Noir's life while he's fighting her clone. Wounded by the fake Olivia, the effects of Noir's sacrifice skills have disappeared. When the fake Olivia prepares to kill Noir, Emma suddenly appears and saves him. Lola, Luna, and Layla join her, having come to help Noir. Joining forces, the girls attack the fake Olivia, but it's still not enough. The fake Olivia manages to knock down Emma and Lola. Noir turns the fake Olivia's electrified sword into a regular one, weakening her attacks. Using a magic-infused punch, Layla breaks Olivia's sword. Olivia then proves he doesn't need the sword and attacks Layla the fire spell, defeating her. Suddenly, Luna also falls down because Olivia raised her body temperature using a skill. The fake Olivia gives Noir the chance to run away, but he doesn't quit, wanting to save the real Olivia. He sacrifices all of his skills except the one that allows him to create new skills and powers up. Attacking the fake Olivia in a frenzy, Noir manages to hit her, but she makes her skin hard at the moment of impact. Getting angry, Olivia starts punching Noir and prepares to kill him with a fire spell while he's on the floor. She launches the spell, but Noir charges at it and cuts in half. With his sword on fire, she gets the fake Olivia directly in her head and defeats her, turning her back into a mass of chains. Later, Noir visits the hidden dungeon again, finding Olivia outside it, free of the chains. Finally meeting in person, they are thankful to each other. As their lives return to normal at Noir's shop, the business is thriving and Noir and his friends continue their education at the Hero Academy. Olivia continues mentoring Noir while he does his best to advance through the dungeon and get stronger. That's all for today, and if you enjoyed watching the video, consider liking and subscribing for more like it. Thanks for watching.